Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Fastball Sports Network. I am Frank. That is Mark. Mark, I usually start these by asking how you're doing today, but in light of recent events, I have a little bit of a different question for you, and that is, are you feeling oozy today?
Am I feeling oozy today? It's Friday. You're feeling oozy on a Friday. Overall, pretty normal day. Nothing too crazy. We got some Saudi Arabia shenanigans to talk about. Is it Crown Jewel?
Crown Jewel.
Okay, I know. I didn't want to say the wrong thing. So Crown Jewel it is. Let's talk about it.
All right, let's talk about it. So up first, we have Asuka and Alexa Bliss versus Dakota Kai and Io Sky for the WWE Women's Tag Team Champion. And I see you shaking your head, so I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to let you get into it.
I just don't understand how this is still going on with these six women. Bailey and Bianca are awesome. I love Asuka and Alexa too. I don't care about Bailey's tag team people. Unfortunately, that they haven't really given me a reason to care about them yet. I just don't understand how this is still happening. How we're still doing it. I know they came back on Monday, right, from like their long injury and like they won the tag titles. But like, how is this still going on? How do we not have anything better for Alexa or Asuka yet? It's been really rough.
I was really surprised they came back and won the titles, honestly. Um, I, I was just
There
surprised.
hasn't been many negative things to point out under the Triple H era. I would say the whole damage control storyline, how the treatment of Alexa and Asuka definitely like stick out. This is just not being booked properly. It's getting a lot of attention too. Like they're getting a decent amount of like segments, and it's not working. Like these two shouldn't be doing what they're doing with these tag titles.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think Alexa and Asuka are built for more. But at the end of the day, I guess they needed something to fill the void here. I just don't understand why they gave them the titles. I think that's what's bugging me the most. You know, you have a chance to put over this new act that you have going on, and they have and they haven't. They've been kind of like 50-50 with it. I don't know. It's just very odd to me.
Well, the only way to solidify the group is by putting the belt on Bailey. That's the only way to make them actually matter. And it doesn't seem like they're going to do that. It seems pretty clear at this point that it's not happening. They're having another title match tomorrow, I know, but I'm just under the assumption that Bianca will retain. So this group doesn't really matter.
All right, I guess we're gonna get a two birds with one stone here type of thing. And yeah, I think Bianca Belair is gonna win tomorrow too. My question is, who do you have winning the tag team championships?
Uh I'll take damage control. We'll flip it right back to them.
So you're using 6 days later, 5 days later, they're gonna come and they're gonna get him back. I
Yep.
don't I don't hate the guess, and I honestly would not be shocked if that's what happened, but I am gonna stick with Alexa and Asuka.
Okay.
I don't know why. I feel like this is probably one of those more 50-50 things, honestly. Um, and I'm just gonna go with the other side. That's really all I got for you on this one.
Listen, I have no argument on my end. It's just kind of it goes with how this bookie has gone so far. How they didn't give them the belts initially, they gave them to Raquel and Aaliyah. Then they gave it to them randomly on a Raw. They lost randomly on a Raw. They'll win randomly in Saudi Arabia.
I actually really like this card, but you're right. This is we're kind of doubling up here with some of these, or tripling up with some of these matches now. So yeah, this hasn't been the greatest storyline in my opinion, but we'll see. They got another chance tomorrow to come out and make it significant, so we'll see what they do with it. We will move on to another tag team match, and that is the Usos versus the Brawling Brutes for the undisputed tag team champions. Obviously, Sheamus was taken out by the Usos and basically the whole bloodline. And that was because Sheamus went and got married. But for storyline purposes, Sheamus is out. So, I mean, I don't think there's much to say about this one, right? The Usos aren't losing.
No,
Definitely not. Like this might be lock of the card, honestly.
it's their first defense in a while.
It is their first defense in a while.
I mean, I don't think so, but you could always do there's friction right now with Roman and Jay. He's losing his mind. Like it could happen. I wouldn't say lock. Like
Okay.
it'd be kind of weird to drop it to those two. I feel like if you drop it to a
Without
better
Sheamus there.
Yeah, I think if it was like the Street Profits or like a real tag team, that like I'd be like, yeah, they could definitely win this. But no, I'm gonna take the Usos, but I would say it's like 80-20 confidence points.
Okay. All right. I'm like 95-5, honestly. I don't think the Usos are losing on tomorrow. But I mean, look, again, I guess you're right. There could be like an overarching storyline that they
Maybe
have.
like Logan Paul's brother like distracts one of the Usos and like gets in their head or something. Like there are things they can do which are kind of like ridiculous, but it could work.
Definitely, if they wanted to do something, they could. Um, all right, so let's move forward to Braun Strowman versus Omos. And I know, excuse me, Omos. I know that this is going to get an eye roll from you because this is the type of match that you absolutely hate. And you haven't told me this. You haven't like said verbalize this to me. I just know you and I know that this is the kind of match that you absolutely hate. And I would say that there is a purpose for this match, and if it doesn't go more than 10 minutes, it could be entertaining.
I mean, I'm yet to watch anything Omos has done that has been even kind of entertaining or intriguing or fun. He's not done anything to this point. He's been here for years now. I feel like at least like 2 years, right?
Since Raw Underground. I don't know how
So
long.
at least like a year and a half. I don't know the exact timeline, but it's been a long time with him being in a semi prominent role on TV. Where with the long stuff he did with AJ, where I just didn't care about it all. Like it's been a while now, and I don't care at all. I like Braun. Um, I'd imagine this is going to be like a series of sorts. I would imagine Omos squashes him tomorrow, and they keep going. But I have no idea, and I'm going to take Omos because I don't know how the story continues if Braun wins. So I'll take Omos.
Interesting. Braun Strowman being put in this match right away was really, really interesting to me. Um, I think Braun's going to win tomorrow. I think Braun's going to win, and I think he's going to establish himself as the dominant Titan in WWE. That's just my opinion. I don't really know if that's like how they want to book it or if they're planning on trying to make this even so it looks like there are two massive guys, in these matches. I don't really know what the plan was like when booking this, like what the outcome that they were trying to get was. So I'm gonna be interested to see. And that, I like I said, if this thing goes 10 minutes and it's the two of them running at each other and just being big, I think it could be entertaining.
Has
If they're on
Omos had a more than 2 minute singles match?
he definitely did some things with Bobby Lashley for a little while.
They
That
have a
weren't
match
too
though, like a real
yeah, they
match.
had a real match.
All right. I don't remember it.
So yeah, I'm gonna take Braun Strowman, but again, by no means do I know the answer, which is becoming a theme in these pay-per-views. Less and less, I feel like we know what's gonna happen, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
So that'll bring us to our next matchup, which is Karrion Kross versus Drew McIntyre. Excuse me. The site that I'm saying has Bobby Lashley listed as his opponent, but it is not Bobby Lashley. It is Drew McIntyre. So that was a typo. So I apologize for that. This one pretty straightforward. I think Karrion Kross gets the victory again.
Is there a stipulation here?
I don't believe so. They just had Extreme Rules, so I think a lot. I think most of these matches are just straight up matches.
I mean, yeah, Cross should win. They could also do like Drew gets his win back. You let Cross go over at the next pay per view, which I can see that happening as well. I'll take
Oh,
Drew.
you know what?
I hope Cross wins. I think that'd be the correct booking, but I'll take Drew.
You know
Yeah.
what? I think this is in Hell in a Cell. I'm sorry. I think this
Oh,
is Steel Cage. I believe so. It doesn't list it here, but I believe it is in a steel cage. You know what? Let me get clarification on that.
yeah, that's important. That's like a coin flip, though. You were saying like could be either way. I feel like that's probably like a. Really just depends on what direction they want to go. If they want it to end, if they want to keep going.
Yeah, I am very interested to see. Yes, it is a steel cage match.
All right, so I mean, I guess the idea is like to keep Scarlet out and the outside distraction. So I guess that makes sense. I'll take I'll take Cross, I guess. I have no comments on either one of them. I'll take Cross.
You know what? I actually think McIntyre is going to win.
Okay.
I think I buy what you were saying. The series of three. I think that this is a good enough rivalry where they could go three. And I think being inside the steel cage without Scarlett being able to get involved, and I'm sure she'll still find a
Yeah.
way. I think
I
it'll
mean,
be
Cross has to ultimately go over, whether it's tomorrow or
right.
the third installment. So
But yeah, no, I think these guys are good enough where you give them the third match. They, we don't want to see that every single time, but I think once or twice every now and again is not that big of a deal. Let us move on to the OC versus the Judgment Day. And I think this is really tough. This is really tough because the Judgment Day, to me, I finally started to seem to gain some steam. Balor got his win against Edge. He did it the way he did it, but it made them look tough. It made them look like a group that you don't want to mess with. You know what I mean? Dom Mysterio, I know you don't love him, but I think he's been actually a pretty decent addition. He's like the annoying kid that they bring around and like yells into the microphone and talks about how he's the next Eddie Guerrero. And like he's doing a good job like getting over as a heel. So I think the Judgment Day should win this match, but I think the OC will win this match, if that makes sense.
okay. So
Um,
it's AJ and the Good Brothers versus Priest, Finn, and Dominic.
and the overarching storyline here, I guess we should probably speak about this, is that Rhea's the X factor for the Judgment Day because they can't hurt her. Basically, they're not going to go and run and attack her, and she's always lurking. And the OC said they have an answer for her. So I don't know what their answer for her is going to be, but I'm interested to find out. I'm assuming it's going to be a woman that comes along with them. I don't know the history of the club in Japan and if there were any women that were in the club while they were there, but I'm curious to find out who this is going to be. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I mean, there was a report today that Mia Yim is going to be brought back. I guess that could be someone.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know either in terms of like the people that they were with over in Japan and everything. But yeah, I guess Mia Yim would be interesting.
Okay, that'd be good to see her get a second run. She was involved in the horribleness that was
Retribution.
Retribution. I think we've mentioned Retribution like the last 3 or 4 shows we've done, and I've forgotten the name every single time.
Yeah, they're back. They're
Yeah,
big. We love
yeah.
them.
Oh, T-Bar is internally listed again as Dominic Dijakovic. So, uh,
That's good.
he was great in NXT as Dominic Dijakovic, and then they had him join the Retribution, which was awful, and we didn't get to see his full list of movesets, but he was really good when it was him and Keith Lee and Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano and Ciampa down there. They had a really good thing going, those 5 or 6 guys down there. So hopefully he can recapture that, and it's not too far gone. But getting off track, who are you taking in the match?
I'm gonna take Judgment Day.
Okay. I'm going to take the OC, but I hope you're right. I'm sitting here.
I'm pretty sure
Hope you're
Judgment
right.
Day is gonna win.
I hope you're right. And I think unless it's somebody huge, and I don't even know who that huge person would be, like unless they bring Charlotte Flair out, nobody could, you know what I mean? Like I'm trying to think who it could be. Like who is coming back, who is returning. I guess Mia Yim makes a lot of sense. I don't know why actually she makes sense. I don't know what her ties are, is basically what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I don't think you have to think too far into this one. Kind of just wait and see.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll continue. We'll move on to the co-main event. They're not calling it a co-main event. I'm calling it a co-main event, and that is Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. And let me tell you something. The build-up to this match has been better by like a billion times than the last time these two fought about a year ago at Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's like we were saying last time we talked about this. There's no title involved, which is really good. I think Lashley here.
Yeah, I think Lashley's going to win this one. Again, the segments that they've had on Raw with just the two of them beating each other up has been great. Like, I think that's exactly what people want to see, and I hope it continues, and I hope they let them go for like 20 minutes. Really, like I know Brock matches are usually finisher, 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 but maybe Triple H will try and change that because I really think that these two could put on like a absolute brawl, similar to the intensity of like that Sheamus Walter match, but with a lot more explosion. If that makes
I
sense.
mean, I think it's still going to be like a finisher spot fest. I don't think it's going to go very long.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. These are probably two of the better athletes, maybe the two best athletes in the WWE right now. So to have them not put on a show and like get them, and they can throw each other around too. They're both big guys, like they shouldn't be this should be a match where they go in, like we should look at this match and we should say that this match is the best match on the card at the end of it. That's how I feel.
No, yeah, it probably should be. I would just say like bell to bell, probably like 7, 8 minutes.
Really.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they give them 15. 20 would be great. I think a 20-minute match. I know Brock doesn't do that, but
Unless this is a one-off, it's not happening.
I'm just thinking of the way the two of them have been booked, right? You have Brock comes in and he dominates Lashley. And then you have Lashley dominate Brock the next week, right? Like this match could be the two of them hurling each other around the ring, and it would make sense, you know what I mean, for them to neither of them to get the upper edge. Like the way they have booked this match is these are two even parties and they're going head to head. Like Brock probably, they want you to believe, has a slight edge because he's Brock Lesnar. But the way they booked this match was this person went over and then that person went over, and now they're going to go and they're going to have a real fight, an even fight. So I don't know. I'm excited for this one. I think I'm actually most excited for this match on the card, rather than any of them. But you're taking Bobby?
Yep.
I think I'm going to take Bobby too.
Okay.
All right, and that will bring us to our main event, which is for the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, and that is Roman Reigns, the champ, versus Logan Paul. As you mentioned previously before, we now know that the problem child, Jake Paul, is going to be at Logan's side, which I think is a cool little ripple. I don't know how you feel about that. I don't know. You don't like it?
I just hate the whole thing. I told you, like, I don't want to see. I don't want to see a single hope spot for Logan Paul to beat Roman Reigns. It's going to happen. Like, he's not going to win. This is you bet any amount of money you want on Roman Reigns. Like, no shot Roman Reigns.
That's $1 million to win a penny on Roman Reigns.
But like, I'm going to get angry watching him like almost win because he's going to get like 2 or 3 spots in where he almost beats Roman. And like, it's not, that's suspending your disbelief too much. It's not, that shouldn't happen. I don't like it.
Listen, Logan Paul is not like, you don't look at Logan Paul and be like, man, that guy can't win a fight to save him. Like, he is in great shape. Like, he's going to do some stuff.
We've been building up Roman Reigns for 3 years to crush all these professionally trained wrestlers.
Listen, that's the shtick that they're going with here. That he only needs to hit him once, right? He only needs to knock him out once. That's the shtick that they're going with here. And I get it. You don't agree with that, but I think from an entertainment perspective, this match is going to be great.
I don't think it will be. I mean, like, people will like it. You'll like it. I'm not gonna like when he like takes out the bloodline and hits a big punch, whatever that. I don't know what's his finish. Does he have a finish in WWE?
I don't know. It's like the one big punch he keeps he like not. Oh, because he had surgery on his hand, and he's got like a bunch of metal pins in his hand. So he like knocked out Jey Uso. So they're saying like the metal pins like give him like this advantage because he's got like a stronger punch. Because obviously you're getting hit with metal. So I don't really know if that it works in real life, but they're trying. Like they're doing anything to make you believe it. And I think Roman is going to dominate most of the match, and I think they're going to get some cool spots. And I'm interested to see how Jake plays into the whole equation. They had the press conference this morning, and Logan introduced Jake and said he was going to be at his side. And Roman like looked at Paul Heyman, and he was like, "You're supposed to know this. You're the wise man." Like, and Paul was like, "I don't know how I didn't hear or whatever." So that was good. Like that, like all that storytelling is really good. And the bloodline doesn't come out with Roman to start. They always just get involved in the match later. So there's definitely a possibility where like Jake Paul can distract him or something like that. Just like any like type of like, it's almost like Roman's going to be playing the face like in this match, and Logan's going to be playing the heel. like in like a weird way. Like all the tactics Logan's gonna use are gonna be heelish tactics. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but there's gonna be 4 guys out there with Roman.
Well, eventually, and then it'll flip. But to start, it's gonna be Logan and Jake out there with Paul and Roman. So I don't know who you got winning.
Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns. I'm gonna take Roman Reigns too.
This is gonna be a long match, like all Roman's matches are. It's gonna be shenanigans. Like I said, there's gonna be at least 2 spots where it looks like Logan Paul is gonna win. It's gonna be terrible. Roman wins.
All right. What's opening the show?
Opening the show. Is Seth on this card or no? Are Seth and Real doing their thing?
Mm-mm.
They're done finally.
I don't think so.
All right.
It's
Well,
not listed here, and I feel like it would be listed if it.
let's think. Who's opening the card? That should be. I mean, they wouldn't go Brock Lashley 1. I don't think that's not really like an opener.
My thought is OC versus Judgment Day.
Okay, you open with like an
Or
AJ Styles
possibly
pop.
Bailey versus Bianca. But yes,
Yeah,
I could also see Brock and Lashley opening the show. I think it's one of those three.
they can do Lashley and they can do Omos and I don't even know. I have no. They have a lot of big matches in this card. No read.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say I'm sorry. I'm gonna say the OC versus Judgment Day is gonna open the show.
I like that call. I like that. That works.
Because they're in Saudi Arabia and Brock just can't leave the arena right away, they might just put him right before the main event.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's
All right,
great,
let's try to recap now because I was kind of all over the place with my picks. Let's go just really quick. Let's go down the line again.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's get some clarification for the
Yeah.
people watching at home. All right, so we both took Roman.
Yeah.
Then in the Raw Women's Championship, we both took Bianca.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley, we both took Bobby.
Yes.
Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross, you took Cross, I believe, and I took McIntyre.
Yes.
Braun Strowman versus Omos, you took Omos, I took Strowman.
Yep.
OC versus Judgment Day, you took the Judgment Day, I took the OC.
Yes.
And then in the tag team championships, we both took the Usos.
Mm-hmm.
And then I took Alexa Bliss and Asuka. You took Damage Control.
Yep.
All right.
We have a lot of disparity. We have a lot of differences.
There were some the top of the card, the main championships, like the big matches, we both agreed on, and the bottom stuff we did not agree.
Yeah. That happens a lot.
Yeah, I guess so. One more thing before we kind of hang it up here. Sasha Banks earlier today, actually a few hours ago, was talking about how she's excited for this one date in November. Do we think that the one date in November is a wrestling event, or do we think this is just a tease of all teases? Because she knows as soon as she says something like that people are going to associate her with wrestling, obviously.
Yeah, I don't think it's wrestling related. I know like people are like, "Oh, Survivor Series," as though I don't think it's that at all. Unless she really wants to be a part of War Games, maybe. But I don't know. She ended it with like, "It's going to be crazy. Like you guys aren't going to see this coming." Like I think it's probably like a movie or something, not like I'm going back to wrestling. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think she's coming back either. I think it was I think if she was going to come back, she wouldn't say anything. Like that's kind of the wrestling works, where like you probably try and say as little as possible. I know I said one more thing, but I actually want to talk about one more thing. This is the last thing that we'll talk about. And because we've been continuing with the saga, usually we open with CM Punk, but today we're going to close with CM Punk. And I just want to gauge your meter on Punk AEW. He's not going back, right? Like 0% chance now.
AEW put out like a Christmas collection thing, and like one of the ornaments was CM Punk.
Yeah, it was like a limited like 200 thing. Colt Cabana was on AEW this week, and that's got to be fuel to the fire. Like I don't care if it's a one-off thing, like they said it was. Like that just feels like it's out of spite, right?
Yeah, no, probably. I mean, that checks out to me as well, but I don't know. At this point, I think CM Punk's gone, but they also, like I said, they put out a thing for you to buy his stuff today. So,
do you think we see Punk back in AEW?
No.
Do you think we see Punk ever wrestle a wrestling match again?
Yes.
With who?
Ring of Honor.
Interesting. Isn't Ring of Honor bought by AEW now?
Never mind then. I don't think he goes back to WWE, but he'll do something, I feel like.
I'll tell you what, I still don't think he goes back to WWE, but where the chances like 4 weeks ago, right, or 5 weeks ago, like right before all of this happened, was like 0.1. Now I'm kind of like, there's kind of like a 25% chance he goes back to WWE. And I don't think that's ridiculous. Like, I don't think that's a ridiculous number that I'm putting on that.
No, it could be like an out of spite thing, like we were saying. Like they just brought in Colt Cabana, the guy who kind of, I wouldn't say caused all of this, but definitely one of the fuels of all of this. And Punk, we know he holds grudges. We know he's kind of crazy. Like how crazy would Tony Khan and all of them go if he showed up on Raw? You know what I mean? So
I saw a tweet about a source that said he has the itch and he wants to wrestle. If Triple H offers him $1 billion and a part-time schedule, because let's face it, he's not capable of a full-time schedule. I don't think that would be healthy for anyone at this point. Like you got to give him his 20 or so days a year and tell him to show up on Raw a few times for promos, tell him to show up at a pay-per-view to wrestle a match, and just treat him the way they treat Edge. He can wrestle a match on Raw every once in a while.
I mean, for a long time they had whoever Roman would go over in his feud, and then someone would like surprise and like music hit and would come out and challenge Roman. Like if it was ever to be Punk, it would never be louder. If Punk came out like after a Roman match and confronted him, it would be the loudest pop ever.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there are the people that are saying definitely no, don't do this. I don't think they're looking at all of the possibilities of what it could mean for WWE, because he is still a superstar. He's a problem, and if WWE decides they don't want to do it, I don't think either of us could fault them on that. But at the end of the day, he is still a draw, and I think Triple H has very clearly made a lot of statements that he is not Vince. I think that has been the overarching. He's not Vince. He's doing things his way, and his way might mean let's go and let's see if we can do something here. Let's talk about it, which he's already stated he's going to talk. Like, I would not be shocked if he called CM Punk. And even if Punk didn't come back, like, I wouldn't be shocked if they had a conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think there's just a lot of variables. Like you said, it's clear that Triple H is like serious and he definitely wants to do what's best for the company, but he's rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, including Roman Reigns, who's your top guy. They've kind of had verbal shots at one another at this point, and there's a lot of baggage, but if they get through that, why not?
Yeah. A lot to unpack there. But that is going to do it for us. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any thoughts about Crown Jewel, about Sasha Banks, about CM Punk, please leave them in the comments below, and we'll see you guys next time.